Food production, processing, distribution, and consumption has huge impact on climate and on the planet.
Agriculture is the single largest user of land. It's the biggest driver of deforestation. It's the principal driver of habitat destruction and biodiversity loss. The real problem when it comes to the cost of food is that we don't incorporate the costs that food production creates for the environment and for public health. And that means that we're seeing overconsumption and overproduction of cheap calories as opposed to nutritious crops. And we're seeing more and more consumption of red meat and processed meat as the cost of producing that meat drop as well.
And we are also more wasteful. About a third of food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted globally.
For me, the definition of a sustainable food system is a system in which food is valued properly for its contribution to our health and to our environment. And a shift to that system is urgently needed. There's been a lot of work to figure out what a healthy diet for us that's also healthy for the planet looks like. The basics are really simple. We need to eat more plant-based foods and whole foods, and we need to limit consumption of processed foods and meat and other animal source products.
One of the main levers is the role of finance. You have the private finance and you have the public finance. The problem is that current players in the financial system don't completely understand their role and their impact. If we think about subsidy, we can think from the two angles. One is to remove subsidies that encourage overuse of fertilizer or pesticide, and then we should condition these subsidies towards sustainable and healthy impacts. On the consumption side, you can think about subsidies that target the most vulnerable population in societies.
At a government level, there's a real need to take what we refer to as a systems approach to food policy. A systems approach would mean coordinating strategies and policies across multiple areas of government. So not having separate strategies on health, environment, trade, finance that all kind of push the food system in different directions. A world in which we were to pay the true cost of food would see pretty dramatic changes and improvements to the health of the population and to our environment. Our diets would change fairly significantly. We'd see a healthier population. We'd see a return to the biodiversity that we've lost and a return to more natural landscapes. But most importantly for me, we would be in with a fighting chance of meeting global climate targets.
I can imagine a world where we pay the true cost of food only if we make really deep systemic change in the food system. And also it requires us as individuals changing our behavior. So it's a massive structural change that needs to happen from the production, distribution, processing, and the consumption side. But it's possible, and that's what we're working towards.